Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. In this video, we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at two ranked games, two games that I played back to back featuring the Dawnbringer trait. And we're going to look at them starting in the middle point of the game. I'm going to start each one on stage 4, so kind of the early game over, transitioning into the mid game in each one. Let me tell you a little bit about what happened up to this point in time in the game. I've had a solid stage 2 and stage 3. I have the most health in the lobby. I've been playing through the Dawnbringer trait, and both of these videos, as the title indicated, are going to be playing through Dawnbringers and going into Karma. It's the team comp I've had the most success with. So I've had a pretty good early game thus far. Basically, my early game was based around having an early 2-star Gragas and an early 2-star Warwick, and then also an early 2-star Kha'Zix. So those are all 1-cost units, and they're starting to fall off a little bit, but those are the units that I've been playing through so far. And then the carry has been Lysandra, and I'm pretty happy with the items that she has. She has a Gunblade, she has an Evil Death Cap, so she has a lot of ability power. The one thing that she's missing right now is a blue buff. She has 1 tier, but I have to get another tier. By the way, I actually hit someone who was lowest health in the lobby and knocked them out here on stage 4-1. Super early to knock someone out, but they get knocked out early, and that's great because they actually had a Karma on the bench. So no Karma found thus far. A lot of early game units that I need to transition out of. But if I can find Karma, I think I'll be in reasonably good shape. So here on stage 4 Armory, I have my choice of what to pick up. And since I had a leftover rod on my bench, I decided to pick up the Shadow Vest and make the Shadow Locket. I don't typically build Shadow Locket when I play this team comp just because rods normally have to go onto Karma. That's the idea. You either want Death Cap or you want Jeweled Gauntlet or something along those lines, or Gunblade, something like that. But in this case, I already had all of the rod-based items that I would need for Karma. I just need another tier so I can make blue buff. And so I went ahead and made the Shadow Locket. And it actually is a pretty good item to make here because it will make my tank line much stronger. And I actually have a decentish tank line. A lot of 2-star units on the tank line. The issue is more that they're all 1-cost units, so I'm going to need to replace them with late-game units. More expensive units because they're going to get outscaled. But the Shadow Locket's really nice. It causes every unit that's in the Locket range to have, I believe, 60 extra armor and 60 extra magic resistance, but they generate less mana with their auto attacks. Unfortunately, I'm not able to overcome this this team comp that's like playing through skirmishers. So Shadow Locket, you don't want to run it on your carries if they need to auto attack to generate mana, but it's very good to put, as I said, on like a tank line where your tanks mostly generate mana by getting hit, not by auto attacking themselves. So it's very useful there, and I think it was the best item I could make in that situation. By the way, Antisocial was also asking if I wanted to join him for a game, and I was like, I think I have to pass right now, unfortunately. So one of the advantages of playing a team comp that you're very familiar with is you don't have to spend as much time thinking about your own team. You can spend a lot more time looking at the rest of the lobby and focusing on positioning. And that's one of the things I want to showcase in this video is I'm going to do a lot of scouting of other teams and a lot of positioning, particularly as these games get closer to the end, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to cast 2 games and show the endings of both of them, as opposed to, normally I do the full games, but here I think it'll be useful to show some of these ending sequences. Here, it looked like I was going to lose, but then the Warwick and the Kha'Zix were able to get on the Aphelios on the other team, and so I managed to win that round, even though I wasn't really expecting to. It's a good thing that was a 1-star Aphelios and not a 2-star Aphelios. Now, here's one of the downsides to having a lot of health. You pick last on the carousels, so it can sometimes be tricky to get the items you want, but I think there's enough good items that you can always make something useful, even if you're not getting best in slot. I desperately want that tier. It's a Shadow tier, so it'd be Shadow Blue buff, but Shadow Blue honestly is pretty much just as good as normal blue on Karma. And oh, it looked like that player was going to take the Shadow tier, but no, they don't. Take the Shadow Rod instead, and I was like, yes, thank you very much. That is the item I needed because we're about to get, we're very close to the part in the game where you don't get components anymore. And so this is going to allow me to make blue, the Shadow Blue, but that's fine. And now I've gone to level 8 and I want to roll down here. So I'm looking to 2-star as many of these units as possible, and I'm looking to find Karma. I actually was playing double Gragas's there for frontline. So let's see, what else can we find? There's a Rel, there is another Ivern, there's another Soraka. As I said, a lot of these units were only 1-star. There's another Rel, and now it's like, how can I best make use of the units I have? I'm trying to figure it out. I actually have 5 Dawnbringer, 3 Renewer, which is a little bit wonky in here. So I want to try to get some of these units into the game, but still no karma, and that's the really bad thing about this roll down. I rolled down, what is it, about 30 to 40 gold there, and I didn't find a karma at all, which is quite bad because I'm going to need to move out of I really want to move out of this Lysandra. She has great items. This will make for a fantastic karma if I can find her, but the Lysandra just doesn't carry hard enough at this stage of the game. She's a one cost unit. She's a one cost 2-star unit. And like she does 4,000 damage, which is again great for like stage 2, stage 3, but like we're at the end of stage 4. So here I get something interesting. I actually find a Heimer, and that's pretty useful because I think that that's definitely something I want to pick up. Heimer's a really useful unit. Now what I should do here, and what I recognize eventually, is I should just sell Karma and put these items on Heimer. Even a 1-star Heimer can make very good use of these items, particularly the Death Cap. He doesn't use blue that great because he has very high mana cost, but still can use it okay. And the dark blue is actually better than the standard blue on him because if he gets low on health, then he'll get 50 starting mana as opposed to the 20 mana you normally get on a normal blue. So what I did there was I moved out of the Kha'Zix. I put in I moved out of the Warwick because Warwick's an early game unit. I put in the Nautilus and I put in the Rel, and that put Ironclad in, which is actually pretty decent against this team comp, although a lot of the damage from this team is actually magic because Draven's Static Shiv is doing a lot of the damage, so maybe not as useful against this team comp as some of the other more physical damage-based teams. So Karma gets a crit there, or no, she didn't get a crit. She doesn't have spell crit, but she got off one of her better attacks, knocks Draven down to like 20% health, but doesn't kill Draven, and then Draven can just lifesteal that back. Here, though, I get a big hit. I find the Volibear at the 5% odds, and I'm like, all right, I have to play the Volibear, and that's going to shift up how I'm going to play this setup here. So I'm going to look to move out of the Ironclad because I want to play the Voli, and I want a slot available for him. So I'm going to take out the Nautilus, and if I'm going to take out the Nautilus, the Rel is not as useful either. So I'm going to hold Rel for right now, but I'm not sure that that's what I want to play long term, just because I'm not sure that there's that many people that are heavy physical damage in this lobby, where Ironclad would be more useful. And if I'm not going to play Nautilus, I probably have less need to play Rel as well. Okay, so now I'm going to continue rolling. Again, I really want to find Karma. That's not Karma, but 2-star Ivern is nice. Again, I'm playing these units up on the front lines because I'm trying to make use of that Shadow Locket. Are some Tariks here. You see me go by one Tarik, but then pick up another one. And there's Garen, so that's really big. So I'm going to pick up the Garen. Probably should hold Tarik if I'm going to play Garen. And so that allows me to drop the Nidalee, who is not as great at this stage of the game. So we have 4 Dawnbringers. We still have 3 Renewers, which is a little bit excessive. 2 Brawlers, and then the Revenant synergy with the Volibear, plus the Ivern in there. So getting stronger there, but notice it's 5-1. I still don't have even 1 Karma, so I'm just trying to make do with what I have here. I'm still playing through the Lysandra. Again, I think that's a mistake. I think the better play is to put in the Heimer because he will carry much harder with these items than little old 1-cost Lysandra. Note as well this team that we're up against, Game Over 6M. This person's playing through a Mordekaiser, and this is one of the team comps that's popped up in like the last couple of days that started to become very popular on the ladder right now. It's Mordekaiser, and the key items are Gunblade and then QSS. Or better, the Shadow QSS is even better because the Shadow QSS will last for the whole fight. And then the third item can be whatever, but this person's managed to make Shadow Jeweled Gauntlet, which is also really, really strong. By the way, get another Gragas. I'm actually sitting on 8 Gragases, so that's the main reason why I've kept Gragas around. I think I have decent odds to 3-star him, and he does have decent synergy with Volibear, and he's actually a pretty good tank. You also see me sell the Lysandra, which is what I should have done earlier. I should have done that as soon as I found the Heimer. And so now I'm just going to put play the Heimer instead. So Heimer is still holding Karma items. I would still prefer to play Karma here, but Heimer holds these items pretty well. And he can kind of serve as my carry until I can find Karma here. So other options. Now I'm up against what looks like a skirmisher comp. So here's one place where Ironclad would actually be really good. But Volibear gets off a great ult. He literally stuns the entirety of the enemy team. And then Heimer, oof. You see right away why Heimer is better than the Lysandra. He gets off an ult that literally hits the entire enemy team, bathes them in fire, gets that healing debuff on them. And yeah, wow, we look a lot better against this team comp. Granted, this team comp was weaker than the one I hit in the last round, but still, not too shabby. All right, so again, I'm still rolling here. And aha, there we go. I hit the Karma. It's unfortunate that I have to sell the Heimer. I actually would like to keep playing Heimer here, but I have to sell him. And so since I'm selling the Heimer, I'm going to go ahead and go back up to 6 Dawnbringers. I don't think 6 Dawnbringers is in any way optimal for this stage of the game, but it's what I had in terms of units. And you have to play the units that you have. You know, you can't just focus on what might be most optimal. You still have to play the units that you actually have available. So how do I get Rel in here? Well, I don't think I do. So I'm going to go ahead and sell the Rels because I do have a 2-star. What is it? I do have 2-star Soraka, 2-star Riven, 2-star Nidalee. I think that's better than what else I can play right now, given that I'm basically out of gold to roll at the moment. But we've got Karma, and even though Karma is only a 1-star unit, she has very good items. About the only thing I would do is I would replace the Gunblade with like a Jeweled Gauntlet or a non-Shadow Death Cap. That would be better. But honestly, she has good stuff right now. The 6 Dawnbringers is also nice. Again, like I said, it's not ideal for this stage of the game. I'd rather have like Mystic in or Ironclad in or something like that, but it's certainly not bad. It will mean that as the Dawnbringer units get low, they will pass on that extra damage bonus to the rest of the team. And it also means that Karma basically gets like a mini GA in these fights because when she drops below half health, she'll heal back up to full from 6 Dawnbringer. So like she has kind of a mini Guardian Angel to help keep her safe. As far as items on this carousel go, once again, I'm last pick. But as I said, I think you can always get something decent on the carousel. So that's why I don't really mind being last pick and having more health to work with. So I would have taken a Karma if it was there. Of course, there was no Karma. But then I luck out and I hit the 2-star Karma. So it took forever to find 1 Karma, but then I finally get lucky and I hit 3 Karmas in rapid succession. I think it also might have helped that some people got knocked out of the field and dropped the units they were holding. So now I've got a Shadow Shojin. And the Shadow Shojin means the user deals less damage, but their attacks generate more mana. So this is a great item to put on a support unit, and I'm going to put it on Soraka right here. I think she can make great use of this. Soraka's mana costs are relatively low. I believe her mana cost is 80, and she generates 16 mana per auto attack. So she doesn't do damage like when she ults, but that's fine. Her goal is not to do damage. Her goal is to put that big silence on as many people as possible. And so she's going to be able to do that really well now that she has both the Zeeks that gives the attack speed bonus to herself and Karma, and she also has the Shojin as well. So like she's not going to do damage in these fights, but her crowd control is actually going to be excellent. Soraka's a really nice support unit, just because she puts that AoE silence on lots of the enemy team. So I got lucky there. I was able to get, even though it took forever to find Karma, I did manage to 2-star her relatively quickly once she showed up. I think I hit the first one on 5-2, and then I 2-starred her on 5-5 or something like that, so it was almost immediate thereafter. And so as soon as I hit 2-star Karma, I'm feeling safe to go to level 9. If I did not have 2-star Karma, I would keep rolling here because I would need to 2-star that unit. But once I hit the 2-star Karma, I'm feeling pretty safe. At this point, I'm looking at who I've hit recently, and I'm trying to see what comps I want to position against. I wasn't exactly sure which one I was going to be up against. I'm not sure which one I was thinking I would be up against, but I'm going to position over here on the left-hand side because I figured this would be safer. And it turns out that this is safer. Notice that Diana, instead of jumping on my carries, just jumps into the middle of nothing. So that's really good. Voli manages to get into the middle of the enemy team. So from a positional standpoint, I think I've played this fight correctly. The problem is that Mordekaiser is pretty strong. He's got the Shadow QSS, so he can never be crowd controlled. He has the Shadow Gauntlet, which means that he has all kinds of spell crit. And then he has the Gunblade, so that he doesn't die from the Shadow Gauntlet. Oh, we get him down to like 10% health. And then he heals right back up to full because he gets his ult off, and he just did 18,000 damage. I was like, all right, let's think this through here for a minute. Out of these other comps here, that person who has the Mordekaiser that we just did is on, I think, a 5-match winning streak, and I think I'm actually going to check them out. I was like, all right, this Mordekaiser, let's look at this. What's he running? 6 Legionnaire. All right, I was like, all right, okay, this is going to be a problem. These are probably like absolute perfect items on Mordekaiser. I don't think you can get better items than that. And he's got the 2-star Mordekaiser, and he has 6 Legionaries in there for a lot of attack speed. So at this point, I'm thinking, I'm pretty sure this is the person I have to be most concerned about in the lobby. So how do I beat this comp? How do I beat the Mordekaiser? And my thinking was, I need to get Mystic in. Mystic is something that isn't a normal part of a Karma team composition. You have to sacrifice something to get Mystic in. But I was like, the Mordekaiser's damage is 100% magic. No one else on that team is threatening. It's just the Mordekaiser. What I need to do is I need to get to level 9 and let's tech in some Mystics. I can, for example, I'm at 6 Dawnbringers right now, which I definitely don't need. I could drop down to 4 Dawnbringers, put in 2 Mystics, and then use the extra unit at level 9 to put in another Mystic, get 3 Mystic in, give everyone on the team 100 magic resistance. I was like, I think that's the way I beat this. So for right now, we're going to level towards 9, just going to hold gold and level in that direction, and pick up any Mystics I see in the shop. Now, I don't see any Mystics here, but that's what we're looking for. So what is this? This we're up against a Hellion team comp with that Ziggs. So here I just need my tank line to hold up long enough. Again, having the extra armor and MR from the Shadow Locket is really nice here. As soon as Ziggs died, I'm going to be okay. He's on like 10% health. Oh, there we go. Just needed Karma to pop the Ziggs. As soon as the Ziggs dies, there's no damage on the rest of this team. So we're able to punch through that. And do we have enough damage to knock this person out? Oh, hey, it is stage 6. So yeah, I do 20 damage and knock that person out. So that's nice. Get the top 4 finish. And now, but I'm not really thinking about top 4. I'm trying to thinking about how I can win this lobby. So who am I most likely to be up against? Well, I'm probably not going to be up against the Mordekaiser person because I hit them recently. It's probably going to be one of the other 2 players. And I'm still watching that player. I was like, all right, they just made 2-star Draven. That's a little bit scary. So the other comps, one is a skirmisher comp that my team is not particularly great against. And the other one is like an Aphelio / Mordekaiser / Draven or something. Yeah, this one I'm not quite sure what this comp is because I guess it's an Aphelio's comp, but there's also Mordekaiser and there's also a Varus in there. Well, I guess Varus is in there for Rangers. Anyway, I don't quite understand this comp, but the good news is this comp is melting like butter in the sun against my setup right now. So that Diana did not do anything. The Diana was not positioned to hit my carries, and we're able to knock out this player. And in fact, everybody's been knocked out except for me and this Mordekaiser person. And remember what I said about picking up Mystics in the shop? So there we go. Going to pick up Rise, going to pick up the... I pick up Rise and I pick up the Lulu. And then now for some reason I didn't see the Lux in the store. Like I was just thinking, aha, there we go, 2 Mystics. But I have the Lux right there. I should pick up the Lux and play that as well. There's no reason not to go up to 3 Mystics here. And I think I belatedly see this at the very end after like the round's about to start. Because like right here when there's like 0 seconds, I was like, oh, there's a Lux in the star. I should have grabbed that and played that. Because I have 5 Dawnbringers. I don't need 5 Dawnbringers. So this is not quite ideal. Also, I didn't have enough time to scout there. Look at the Diana's positioning, jumping right onto Karma. That is not what I want. Not at all. Volibear gets off a nice ult, but it's like, can we ever kill this Mordekaiser? Because like he just gets that shield, and then he lifesteals right back up to full again. And it's like, oh, come on, Karma, can you get him? Soraka did get a silence, but no, he's got his shield back in. Oh my god. Yeah, he did another 14,000 down. Just like, all right, that didn't work. Let's try this again. I have enough health that I get a couple of swings at this. So there is a Frozen Heart on the Kairos, and I was like, give me that. You know what would be good against someone who's running 6 Legionnaire and has a lot of attack speed? How about a Frozen Heart to slow down some of that attack speed? So I'm going to stuff this up on the front lines, put this on the Volibear. I did hit the 3-star Gragas, not that that does all that much. So let's sell that, and let's try to get some more of these units in. Taric would be a nice unit to play, but he's not going to do anything here. What I need is, like I said, I need to get up to higher tiers of magic resistance, because that's what's going to stop Mordekaiser from killing my team, giving every single unit another 100 MR by getting Mystic 3 in. So like, I'm going to try to reposition. I also thought it would be nice to box my carries here. I thought that would do better, because he does have that Diana. And then at the last second, I was like, oh yeah, Lux has to go in. So even though I've taken out a 2-star Nidalee and I've taken out a 2-star Riven, I've got 3 Mystic in. See, I even highlighted it. 100 MR for everyone. And honestly, I should probably even think about going up to Mystic 4, getting 180 MR, although I'm not sure what I would take out for that. So, oh, there goes the Mordekaiser. He gets popped. And even though Diana is going to grab the Karma on my side, it's not going to matter. Mordekaiser's down. Mordekaiser's down. As soon as that happens, the fight's over. And that's enough to finish this player off. So I was like, nice. Haha. So teching in Mystic for the win there. Again, Mystic is not normally a part of this Dawnbringer's team comp, but that's how to stop that Mordekaiser. By the way, shh, it's also the way to stop my team comp too. My team comp is very heavy on magic damage. So that other player I was up against should have also teched in more Mystic units. I think they had Mystic 2. Actually, I don't know if they had Mystic in at all. So yeah, should have done the same thing. All right, so that game went great. I get 100 LP. I promote from Gold 4 to Gold 3. And now this is the very next ranked game that I did. So now I'm Gold 3. This is literally the next game I played immediately thereafter. So I'm going to go ahead and showcase this one as well. So we're going to do the same thing. We're picking up here at the start of Stage 4. So a little bit different in this game. I was able to preserve a lot of health. Still at 83 health, so I had a pretty good early game, but you might notice I'm on a 2-match losing streak. And the reason for that is I have a ton of 1-star units. I did find the early Karma, which was fantastic for me in this game. I found Karma at on like stage 3-5, I think, 3-3 or 3-5. at level 6. So I did not have to like roll for her. She just popped up immediately. So I was like, all right, because I found the early karma, I don't think I have to roll at 7. I'm going to do the same thing as in last game. Because I had a strong early game and mid game, I feel confident to go up to level 8. But the difference from last game is I have so many 1-stars right now. Like I've got the 6 Dawnbringers in, but like my whole board is 1-stars, and that's not ideal. So even though I have the early karma and I like the items I have on karma, it's not great having this many 1-star units because at this stage of the game, they tend to get blown up pretty quickly. I also have the components for a Zephyr on my bench, and I was thinking about making a Zephyr, but I wanted to hold off and see what I could get in the armory here, because now that there's always an armory on stage 2-2, 3-2, and 4-2, it often can be useful to wait like that one stage after the minion round to see what you get in the armory. So I've got some interesting options here. I was like, Shadow Rod. I was like, yeah, I think I want the Shadow Rod, just because there are a lot of good items I can make on Karma. I was somewhat tempted by a Shadow Morello's here, but I don't have a great unit. I guess I could put that on Soraka. But I was thinking, there's so many good items I can make on Karma with the Shadow Rod. I would love to get, best would be another Rod so I can make Shadow Deathcap. That would be amazing. She would do incredible damage. I could also make the Shadow version of the Jeweled Gauntlet, have a normal Jeweled Gauntlet and a Shadow Jeweled Gauntlet. I mean, she'd be killing herself pretty quickly and relying on Dawnbringer to heal, but she would output immense damage with that setup. So I would go for that as well. So I'm hoping that either from this carousel or from the remaining minion rounds, I'll be able to get something good. One of the things that was carrying me through the early rounds of the game was, you notice I have the Shadow Frozen Heart on Warwick, and that was really good in the earlier stages because, again, the Shadow Frozen Heart lowers the attack speed of not just the enemies around it, but also allies. So what was happening in a lot of these early rounds is Warwick would just get resets, and then he would just dive into the back of the enemy team, and he would carry his Shadow Frozen Heart into the back of the enemy team, kind of like he's an assassin, like mini assassin. This is not working as well now because, of course, Warwick's damage has fallen off now that we're in stage 4. He's not resetting very often, and he's not like diving into the back of the enemy team and putting the Shadow Frozen Heart into the back of the enemy team. So I'm going to have to look to probably move out of the Warwick pretty soon. So I have been getting a few more units here, but like I still have 1-star Soraka, 1-star Nidalee, 1-star Riven. Again, I would probably prefer not to be running the 6 Dawnbringers here, but it's just something that it's what I was hitting. So like I haven't hit an early Ivern, I haven't hit an early Taric or Rel, I haven't really hit Nautilus thus far. So a lot of the stuff I would go into, I haven't really hit thus far. So it's been Dawnbringers I've been hitting, so that's what I've been playing. Here, I'm going to keep the Riven over there, and I was actually watching this team, and I see that there's an Assassin Nocturne that's about to dive onto my carries. I was like, all right, I was probably going to make this Zephyr anyway. Let's just make it right now, because that way I can actually take out a dangerous unit from the fight. Now, this is a scary comp because it's a bunch of Assassins, and Karma's sitting there at full health, but she doesn't manage to get a cast off. She gets popped by that LeBlanc with the Shadow Blue buff. That's going to be troublesome. So this is a comp I do not enjoy. The LeBlanc with the Shadow Blue buff who can just perma-stun your team once she drops below 50% health. So that's not a team that I want to see. All right, well, the only good news is I do get a little bit more carousel priority here. So what's my top item? It's the Teemo with the Rod. That would be just amazing for me because that would get me Shadow Deathcap and also on a 5 gold unit that I can sell. So I was like, oh, come on, give me this unit. And then, it gets taken. I was like, that's very disappointing. So I go ahead and take the Shadow Belt. If there's no item I can make on my carries, I usually just try to take a Shadow item because the Shadow items are very powerful and you can do a lot of cool stuff with them. But I think what I should have done is I think I should have just taken the tier because then I could make Shadow Archangels, even though it's not ideal for Karma. It would at least be something decent. It would cause her to get off her first cast and start snowballing a little earlier. So I think that was in retrospect a mistake. I should have taken that item just so I had something else to use. Here I'm rolling down. I found the early volley. That's fantastic. I'm looking for more karmas. Then I find the Ivern, so I don't need those cinders. And then I find the Heimer, which is really nice. So Heimer is another unit I can look to play into. I don't have time to set up my team here the way that I want them to. But overall, that was a pretty decent roll down. About the only bad thing is I didn't find more karmas. But like finding the early volley is great. Volibear is just such a nice unit. He pairs really well with Ivern. He pairs quite well with the Gragas as well. And just provides all that crowd control, which gives Karma more time to ramp up. So Karma has a blue, she's got a Jeweled Gauntlet, and then she's got this Shadow Rod. So again, I'm hoping I can get something out of the last minion round. But like I said, I think I should have taken something that could pair on the on that Shadow Rod, just in case I don't get anything from the minion round. Still, Shadow Belt's not bad. It's certainly nice on Volibear, and I'm hoping I can find something useful to put on that item. All right, so you notice I didn't roll here. I decided I would wait and roll after the minion round instead of continuing to roll here at the end of stage 4. I thought that I would hold, and then I'd have probably like 40 to 50 gold to roll with. And just so I have a little bit more to try to hit stuff. Because I still have a lot of 1-star units. I still have 1-star Soraka. I still have 1-star Nidalee. I'm still playing the Kha'Zix, which I don't want to play. And I still have 1-star Riven as well. And 1-star Ivern. So like most of my board is still 1-star. Here I was positioning to hit a team comp. This is not the comp that I was expecting to hit, this person Melancholy. But I do manage to get the Diana. That's not terrible. That will stop anyone from leaping on my carries. Unfortunately, Volibear doesn't get off a very good ult. He doesn't hit the Draven. And the Draven is 2-starred, which is a problem. Like, my team of mostly 1-stars doesn't really have enough damage to cut through this. Draven's Bloodthirster is ramped up. His death cap has a gazillion stacks. And yeah, I can't get through that. Not at this stage of the game. So, oh well, that's a little bit unfortunate. But again, the advantage of having all this health banked early is it gives me more time here. I can lose some of these rounds and it's not the end of the world. All right, so pick up the Taric here. Again, I'd love to play Taric if I can find Garen. And I'm probably going to sell this. Yeah, I decided to move out of the Kha'Zix. And my thinking was go down to 4 Dawnbringers, but play other better units, like the Heimer and the Taric. So again, I like a lot of the units I have. The problem is I got 1 2-star unit right now, and his name is Gragas. Gragas is a 1-cost unit, so might want to 2-star some of these units here. So I'm hoping I can roll down and hit some of these. And what do I get from the minion round? Oh, it's 2 bows. That is, yeah, that's not what I wanted. 2 bows. That's not going to be very helpful here. All right, so we do hit the Riven 2-star. We hit another Heimer, and that's quite nice. I was like, all right, can I get 1 more Heimer? And then I hit the 2-star. I hit the 2-star Garen. I was like, ooh, what do I take out? I want to keep 4 Dawnbringers in. I was like, wait, I could take out Soraka. I don't need Soraka right now because I have Heimer. Heimer will provide Renewer. I was like, okay, that works. So I'm going to put this in, and then I put the Zeeks down, but I don't put the Zeeks on the right unit. See, the problem is Riven has both. The problem here for me is Riven has the Zeeks, and she also has the... Excuse me there. She has the Zeeks and she also has the Zephyr. So that's a problem because I want to move Riven around to make use of the Zephyr, but then she can't make use of the Zeeks by giving that aura to people next to her. So whoops, that's not what I want. And I also have a problem here in the sense that Karma not only is a 1-star, she just has this Shadow Rod that I can't do a whole lot with. I was like, the bow? Well, the bow would create sacrificial, the shadow version of Rage Blade, sacrificial Rage Blade. So she'd be dealing damage to herself with every auto attack. And that's not really what I want. Karma doesn't need attack speed. So I've kind of just got this leftover bow that I don't want. I also now have 2-starred Soraka and 2-starred Nidalee, but I don't really want to play either unit. So the proper move here is honestly to sell both of them and just have more gold to roll with. So I'm finding some of these Rels. I was like, can I get Rel in this team comp? Like, there's some interesting units here, but not quite what I want. So yeah, ultimately I sell the Rels, more Sorakas, and then there's the 2-star Karma. I was like, oh, I have to get this in. I have to get this in. So I sell Soraka, and I decided that, yes, I'm not going to play 6 Dawnbringers. Going to play 4, which I think is better. I think it's better to play 4 Dawnbringers with more support units. And we'll go from there. So I really probably should just sell Nidalee as well, because I don't really see a situation where I would want to play Nidalee. Here, we're up against that Assassin team comp, and the good news is we seem to have stun-locked the LeBlanc pretty well. Like, she's just kind of standing around not doing anything. I think she got knocked up by the Daisy from Ivern, and then we actually did manage, just by kind of dumb luck, to have the Zephyr hit the Nocturne over there. So we managed to win against that round, and then I do finally sell the... whatchamacallit, I do sell the Nidalee as well. So this is my board. I feel like if I can 2-star this board, I'm relatively strong, but I do need to hit some more of these units. So we hit 2-star Ivern. That's not bad. That's an important unit, but I really want to get the legendary units 2-starred. Of course, that's going to be hard to do, but that's what I want. Now I'm looking for what comps, and I see this one that has a Diana pointed right at me, so I'm going to look to move to reposition away from that comp and just shuffle around a little bit. So is this the comp that I'm going to hit? Well, the answer is yes, it is. So there's positioning for you. Note that the Diana gets Zephyred, and she would have been diving not onto my carries anyway, so that's good stuff. The problem is this comp does have a 2-star Draven and has a Mordekaiser as well. So do we have enough damage to actually cut through this team comp? Well, it doesn't look like it right now. My front line got blown up too fast. Mord just walked up and one-shot the Karma, so oops. That wasn't so good. Do you have me, Heimer? And Heimer's like, no, I do not have you. So Mordekaiser just walks up and kills everything. That Mordekaiser has a shadow Thieves Club, yes, Shadow Thieves Club. So that team comp's strength is heavily dependent on what items Mordekaiser rolls on his Shadow Thieves Club. Now the unit I want here is the Heimer. This will make 2-star Heimer, which would be awesome. Morello's not that great of an item on Heimer, but it gets taken. So what can I do here? I decide I'll take the Archangel Staff and slap this on the Heimerdinger. It's not a great item on it. It's a decent item on him. He has high mana cost, so he does get a lot of ability power from the Archangel Staff. I figured that was the best I could do. Again, Karma stuck with the Shadow Rod, which is a little bit sad. Kind of stuck with a kind of a dead item here. So I'm rolling here, and again, the reason I'm rolling is I am trying to hit some of these units. If I could hit 2-star Garen or 2-star Heimer or 2-star Voli, that would really help me. I don't think I have enough gold to get to 9. So one of the questions you always want to be asking at the end of these games is like, do I have enough health and do I have enough gold to get to 9? And I don't think that I do. So here I'm going to reposition slightly because I was trying to hit someone who had a unit in the corner, and it turns out that this doesn't work out. This is not the comp I was expecting to hit. I have hit the Assassin team comp with the LeBlanc and the what's the other unit there? The Nocturne. So this is not the comp I was hoping to hit. And we actually do, surprisingly, though, get Karma to blow up the enemy team. So this actually ends up working out. I actually thought I was going to lose against this comp because I was not positioned to deal with this. But it looks like we're okay. Just, need the front line to tank there. Keep that Ivern tied up, and there we go. But that person has 8 Nocturnes, which is a little bit scary. So some good RNG there. As I said, that was not the comp I was positioning for. Shinso is the person. Yeah, so now I'm looking at who I haven't hit, and I was seeing these other comps, and I was like, this one, Sagaji or something like that. I think that's the one I was positioning for, and trying to make sure that I could dodge some of the stuff that they had. So I'm trying to work around that Volkaz with the Hellion Spat, like this Hellion. So I'm going to move here, but then I make a mistake. I move the Karma over to the left-hand side. So I am going to get the Zephyr off, and I was right. This is the team comp that I hit. I do get the Zephyr off on that Vel'Koz, but Karma should not be on the left-hand side. She should be on the right-hand side because that Vel'Koz will come back down and will have the beam aimed squarely at the Karma and also over at the Volibear. So Karma tanks the entire ultimate, and that burns through her Dawnbringer heal. So we do kill that unit, but Karma goes so low that then she gets finished off afterwards, and I was like, So this is sad. This is a round I should have won. If I had just kept Karma, I knew which comp I was going to hit, or I was pretty sure which comp I was going to hit. I positioned the Zephyr correctly, but I just needed to have Karma on the right-hand side. If Karma's on the right-hand side, I win that fight very, very easily. So again, positioning makes a huge difference in these fights. So if you can see which comp you're most likely to hit and react accordingly, it makes a gigantic difference in these fights. And there's always some luck, particularly when you have an odd number of people in the lobby. The ghost rounds can do some weird stuff. But that was a time where I was very confident I was going to hit that Hellion player, and just didn't put Karma in the right spot. So again, one of the things that's nice about playing these team comps you're familiar with, as I said before, is you don't have to spend as much time thinking about your own team. You can spend more time thinking about what the other teams are doing and how to position. And particularly in the late game, it really, really, really matters in these fights where you put your units. It's the difference, it could be the difference between getting, first or fourth or second or fifth in a lot of these fights. So now I'm rolling down. Again, I'm looking for another Heimer. I'm looking for a Garen. I'm looking for a Volibear. And this roll found nothing. Now, I could pick up the Teemo if I wanted, but I would prefer to hold on to that extra health. There is some people do like to buy the Teemo and then pay 6 health for 5 more gold. I would rather have the 6 extra health because there's a decent chance I can get knocked out on the same turn as some of these other players, and I'd rather have the extra health for tiebreakers. So here, I wasn't exactly sure what team I was going to be up against. I was not thinking it was going to be the Draven and Mordekaiser player, because I had seen this comp pretty recently, but for whatever reason I hit this comp again, and the good news is we killed the Diana before she manages to get her ult off, so it was like, ooh, that's good news. Now can we manage to get through the Mordekaiser's shield? He actually has rolled terrible items from his Shadow Thieves Glove, and yeah, we managed to finish him off. Heimer's the only one left alive, but he gets down to the Draven Guardian Angel, and I just need a little more tanking. Ooh, that was close. Excuse me. Very, very close, but I do win that round. And now I find another Garen, so I was like, all right, one more Garen, one more Heimer. That's all I really need to do here. That would be really nice to find. So at this point, I was like, all right, am I up against the assassin or am I up against the Mordekaiser Draven player? I think I'm going to be up against the assassin player. So I'm going to try to position to deal with the assassin team comp. That's my hope anyway. So I'm going to try to bunch up my carries because I'm up against what I expect to be assassin. So you can see I'm going to box up there. But of course, the problem is Riven's. I don't have Riven's Zephyr pointed at the right target. It's going to hit that Lysandra. Or, no, actually, wait a minute. I did get somebody pretty good with it. Who did I hit with that? Oh, no, never mind. I hit the Ivern. That's actually a pretty terrible target. So Diana jumps into the middle of my backline, and Karma is going to end up in a place where I don't want her. She gets blown up, and this fight goes horribly. So, yeah, not what I wanted. I'm going to take, like, 1,000 damage from losing this fight because I didn't kill anything. I take 20 damage, so now I'm on 1 life, and I was like, oh, that's really not good. I think I left a spot open where the Diana was able to jump into. There's like a little hole in my boxed up formation. But anyway, at this point, I was like, okay, I don't think I can beat the assassin comp. I think I just lose to this assassin comp. So I need to position to try to beat Draven. So that's the goal. Try to beat the Draven Ward comp. Just ignore the assassin comp. Try to position to beat the one comp I think I can beat, and just try to go from there. So I'm gonna watch that player. And I see Draven gets moved to the front line. So at the last second, I'm going to move the Riven. And I'm actually going to get the Zephyr on the Draven, which is just fantastic. So I was like, yes, haha. And Voli's going to jump right into the middle of the team. And now I'm just hoping I can stop that Diana. But she walks away from my backlines, which is just what I want. And it looks like this fight's good. So Heimer gets off his ult. Karma is untouched. And so we're going to win this fight and live to fight another day. In the Ghost round, the Assassin team beat the Draven team. So everyone's still alive, but everybody's now on 1 life, basically. So this is pretty tense. And I get to go first on the carousel, and there's a Heimer there. I was like, yes, give me that Heimer. I could also go for Garen, but I think Heimer is actually more useful here. Just because I want that Heimer Morello burn. And I think the item on Heimer was better than the item on Garen. Rageblade's actually not bad on Heimer. He has pretty decent attack speed. So I'm going to go with that. So we get 2-star Heimer. Do we hit the Garen? No, we do not. So we weren't able to 2-star Garen, weren't able to 2-star Voli. In fact, my last 30 gold of rolls has really gotten me nothing. But oh well. So now we need to position. Once again, I can be up against either of these teams. It's pretty much a straight 50-50. So I was like, again, I don't think I can beat the Assassin player. I'm going to try to position to beat Draven. That's my goal once again. So I'm going to watch that team comp. Diana is positioned to jump in the corner, so I'm going to go ahead and move this. And have we gotten it right? Who are we up against? And oh, it's Draven! And does the Zephyr hit Draven? It does! And then the Diana jumps on the Heimer turret. Haha! Diana's doing nothing on that side. Voli gets off a great ult. Diana's doing nothing. Mordekaiser has rolled horrible items on his Shadow Thief's buff. And we're just going to blow up this comp and win. And I was like, yes! So we're guaranteed at least 2nd place. But now there's a Ghost round over here, and it turns out my Ghost is up against the Assassin player. Karma is still alive, and I was like, wait a minute, can I actually win this round? Go, Ghost Sula! Go, Ghost Sula! And it looks like we did it! So, amazingly, it is another first. So, yeah, that's why I wanted to cast these games. Forgive me for showing off, but first and back-to-back games. So, well, so much for the middle tiers of gold. I go from gold 4 to gold 3 to gold 2 in just 2 games there. I think I got 100 LP for each game. And these opponents were pretty tough. Most of the people in these games were in, I believe everyone in these games was in at least Diamond, and I believe I had multiple Masters players in each of these games from last season. So tough opponents, fun games, good stuff. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching this. Thanks again for watching. And hey, hope you guys are having good luck in Season 5. Until next time, take care. I'll see you guys soon.